Hello, Rob Orr, clinical myotherapist and credentialed McKenzie therapist. Welcome to my consultation room. Today I'd like to demonstrate a stretch for a muscle called the pectineus. The pectineus, which I'll show you shortly, acts as a hip flexor and also acts as a internal rotator of the upper leg. So for example, when it comes to hip flexion, this is hip flexion. And internal rotation basically means it can turn the leg inwards if it gets too tight. So you can imagine that if we do lots of sitting, this muscle can become quite short and tight, can't it? So I've demonstrated a really nice stretch we can open up that muscle group with. This muscle can lead to groin pain, it can lead to hip discomfort in the front, and it can lead to painful movements with the hip, and it can also lead to restricted movements of the hip as well. And of course there are other factors that can lead to this as well. But try the stretch anyway and just see how you go. See if it gives you pretty quick relief. And if it does, then maybe it's the right stretch for you to do at the end of the day to open up that muscle. Because just remember, when muscles become short and tight, they contract, which means they become broader. They take up more room. And that's what the sliding filament theory by Hugh Huxley, I believe it was 1964, I believe. So once again, a muscle's longer, it takes up less space, doesn't it? But a muscle's shorter and tighter, it broadens. So it's taking up more room. Pectineus is quite a large muscle. And pectineus sort of sits right in here. And this area here is just lateral to the pubic bone, a couple of centimetres. And it joins to one of your pubic bones called the rami, superior rami. And then from here, it goes into the upper leg called the pectineal line. So as you can see, it can pull the leg up, and it also can pull it around, and it can pull it in as well. So it does a number of sort of different movements at the end of the day. So here's a nice stretch for the pectineus if we do have discomfort through those regions. So I'll stretch the left pectineus first. This is my left hand side. So I'm facing you at the moment, so both feet are pointing forward. With my left hand side, so I'm going to stretch this side, I'm going to keep my left foot sticking forward, and then I'm just going to basically turn my left leg, so it points in that direction, and I'm just going to go into a lunge position. So I'm going to split lunge position like this now. Okay, so with this lunge position, it's like a warrior pose in yoga, isn't it? Like a warrior two. So we have the left leg rotated out. So if I was using a clock, it would be pointing at 3 o'clock. And then the right foot is pointing directly straight ahead. And then I increase the width between my left leg and my right leg. Now, I'll look in the direction I'm going, and I'm going in that direction to open up my left pectineus. You can have the hands on your hips, you can have them across your chest, it's really up to you. I like to have the hands on my hips, and then I basically just go into that lunge, like so. So my right knee's going over my second or third toe. I'll go into that lunge until I feel a stretch, very close to that pubic bone. I'll hold that there for a couple of seconds, and then I'll just back off about 30% till I feel a decrease in that stretch, and I'll go back into that stretch again till I feel that stretch and hold for a couple of seconds, and I'll back off the stretch about 30%, and I'll just repeat this about 15 to 20 times in a row. So now we're making a nice dynamic stretch, so we're moving through ranges and mimicking what that muscle tendon junction actually does. And then what you might find is that the stretch gets a bit easier. You might be able to lunge it further. Now if it gets to a stage where you don't feel much, you just might have to increase the distance between both your legs. And like so. Now if we wanted to open up the right pectineus, it's basically the same thing, but we just move to the other direction. So this is my right side, my right foot stays looking straight ahead, and then I just turn my left leg out, and then go into that lunge position like so again. Okay, so there's my lunge position. And once again, my right foot is pointing in that direction, because that's the side I need to open and stretch, and then my left foot is pointing in that direction. Once again, hands on hips, I just follow the knee, and I go into that nice stretch, go into the lunge till I feel a stretch in that pectineus, close to the pubic bone. Nice stretch, hold for 2 seconds, back off 30%, go back into that stretch again, hold for a couple of seconds, and back off 30%, and so on. Once again, repeat around about 15 to 20 reps, nice and slowly. And if you do find that you don't get much of a stretch, because you're increasing the flexibility of that area, just widen your stance of support. So that's a nice comfy stretch we can do. We can do that 2 or 3 times a day. And what you could do, if you have discomfort with certain hip movements, why don't you just do that movement as a test, do that stretch, repeat the test to see if it's same, better, worse. Thank you.